And welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Krystal Paco, so glad you could join us. To date, 15 plaintiffs have filed suit against the Archdiocese of Agana, each alleging they were victim to child molestation decades ago by the hands of church clergy. Some plaintiffs detailed they told a trusted adult, but no action was ever taken. Other plaintiffs stated they were too embarrassed to bring shame to their family and kept the secret to themselves. In light of the allegations and to ensure all children are safe from sex abuse, the church formed a task force for the protection of minors who conducted trainings for all the island's Catholic schools. Here's more from one school who's already months into implementation. It was uncomfortable at first, but students pre-K through 8th grade at St. Francis Catholic School are well acquainted with curriculum that's intended to keep them safe.
The first safety rule is no one should touch my private part unless it's to keep me healthy.
Maddie Martinez and Brianna Dela Cruz are kindergarten teachers at the Jotnias School. They explained the curriculum was localized and the characters were renamed to Juan and Maria to serve as visuals for boundaries and the difference between a good touch and bad touch.
Our first thing in the school is to keep all children safe, make sure they're safe and assure them that they are safe. We always ensure them that they're safe at our school, St. Francis. So it's important to always reinforce their curriculum. Once you're done, you need to reinforce it. Like we'll ask our students what are the steps, and they remember the steps.
It's a lesson not only in self-awareness, but Principal Bill Paulino says it's also a lesson on the Holy Spirit.
Our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, so we always try to keep it pure. And if anybody harms you in any way, that you can always tell a trusted adult.
Right, and that was really the key point about the temple of the Holy Spirit. So children have become not just cognizant about the names of these private areas that should not be touched, not unless to keep me healthy. By using that term or the Holy Spirit, children are more familiar that there is a God and that they have that relationship. So they know that, hey, I need to make sure that nobody touches this.
Everyone on campus, from the janitor to the cook to the teachers in the classrooms, were trained on what to do if they become a first responder.
That was our primary goal, is to make sure that we just do not keep it to ourselves, hide it, something like that, because definitely that's not going to resolve the problem. It needs to be reported.
And advice for moms and dads at home?
Talk to them about your parts, like your body parts. Don't name it, don't rename the body parts. Just try to be as open as possible. And then also listen to your kid. If your kid says this and this, really take it to heart and not just brush it under.
Last year, in light of the allegations that surfaced against clergymen, the Guam legislature introduced and passed Bill 326 into law. The legislation lifts the civil statute of limitations for child sex abuse cases. The church, in response, however, circulated a petition for Governor DeCalvo to veto the bill, which may result in the closure of Catholic schools, churches, and other church services. According to Paulino, what's next is in God's hands.
Of course, we are all concerned with it. Who should not be concerned with something like that? But you know what? I'll tell you, I believe in God. And with divine assistance, I am sure that God will know what to do. I don't know exactly.
If you know of any sexual abuse within the church, the Archdiocese of Agana urges you to call the Sexual Abuse Response Coordinator, Deacon Len Storr, at 727-7373. You are also urged to report any suspected abuse to the Guam Police Department. Turning to court news, 65-year-old Antonio Regis Ariola will answer to charges of manslaughter and aggravated assault this week. Ariola was initially arrested in November after allegedly hitting Paul Nakamura in the head with a glass beer mug at the Slurp and Burp Bar in Harmon. The victim later passed away after a month in a coma. The cause of death was a result of a skull fracture and brain contusion. Arreola's arraignment is set for 1 p.m. at the Northern Court of Guam on Wednesday. A man caught with a live green sea turtle is spared jail time. Julian St. Nicholas Duggan was sentenced to 1-year probation in order to serve 50 hours of community service. Duggan previously pleaded guilty to possession of a threatened species. Last year, Department of Agriculture's conservation officers were tipped off that Duggan was in possession of the turtle. Duggan admitted to taking the turtle while fishing near Tengisan Beach, but only to protect it from other people because the animal appeared weak. He reportedly told law enforcement he had plans to return the animal later. It's a paradise that attracts visitors from Guam and abroad, but it was also subject to one of the largest Guam Environmental Protection Agency violations of 2016. Isa Baza has more from the latest Guam EPA inspection at Cocos Island Resort and what officials are calling a huge success. Here's more.
Clear blue water, swaying palm trees, and sandy beaches as far as the eye can see. That's the view along the shore of Cocos Island Resort. But what is clearly an island paradise was once riddled with significant solid waste violations. Acting Solid Waste Administrator Glenn St. Nicholas said the Guam Environmental Protection Agency issued the resort a $21,000 fine and notice of violation in July of 2016.
There was a lot of waste streams, and along with bulky metallic waste such as rusted 20-foot containers, computers, and rusty heavy equipment that was left on the island. Well, just to give you perspective, the waste items that were located along the trailway was about 60 feet long along the trail, both sides of the road.
What was once an environmental hazard has since been cleaned up. This entire area you see here at Cocos Island was once filled with solid waste at least 3 to 4 feet high. It's since been cleared completely. Minimal cleanup of tires and other materials at the site is all that remains to be done.
This is definitely a success case because management didn't realize that they had a solid waste issue. And now that the barge is in, they actually have a plan on addressing all their solid waste management.
A barge was purchased by the resort late last year in order to transport bulky material from the site back to the Maritzo Pier, where it can be properly disposed of and recycled. A previous barge that became inoperable was one of the factors leading to the island's solid waste issue. Resort manager Masa Kanata has been working closely with GIPA and gave officials a tour of the newly cleared areas several days ago. According to St. Nicholas, they passed with flying colors.
As of today, they're 90% complete with the removal of the solid waste that's on the island.
The cleanup, which is expected to be completed in February, should also positively impact the island's sizable bird population, which includes dozens of endangered cocoa birds. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
Freshman Senators Fernando Esteves and Vice Speaker Therese Terlai have introduced the Government Efficiency Act of 2017. Bill 14 would allow the Office of Public Accountability to conduct a periodic audit of each agency's standard operating procedures.
Primarily, the focus of the OPA has been on finances and other specified instances. What I'm looking at is giving her the tools necessary to really make sure we're applying all the best practices, right? And what does that mean? Having standard operating procedures and applying standards is that we have consistency and continuity in government. And that's the only way we can improve over time.
Esteves says he already received input from the public auditor on the bill. He adds, Bill 14 has a provision that would exempt website field operations in order to protect the integrity of the IT infrastructure. Despite talks by the new Trump administration relative to cutting funding to the arts, newly appointed executive director of the Guam Council on the Arts and Humanities, Johnny Sablan, says he was assured by the National State Arts Association director, Pam Brew, that funding for the island will continue as expected this fiscal year.
We're okay this year. It's the fiscal year 2018 is our major concern, whether will get funded or not. She also mentioned that a lot of these discussions about not funding the arts would probably take place sometime late in March or April, like on the national broadcasting conferences and forums.
Sablan says as a precautionary measure, the agency will be conducting strategic planning and will also discuss the possibility of fundraising in the future. A confirmation hearing was held for newly appointed Guam Visitors Bureau Board of Director William Naltz this past week. Several people spoke out on his behalf, including former GVB General Manager Carl Pangilinan.
Bill's resume really speaks for itself. He's amassed a quality and a very diverse career portfolio with 30 plus years in the game. There's no doubt that he'll bring a lot to the table as a GVB board of director. And again, I urge your support of his confirmation moving forward.
This opportunity to speak on my behalf to be on the board.
Pangilinan also notes Nalt's experience serving as a board member for the Guam Environmental Protection Agency and the need to emphasize tourism sustainability for Guam moving forward. Nalt's appointment fills the vacancy on the board left by former chairman Mark Baldiga. The employer's support of the Guard and Reserve took another step this week to make sure the civilian jobs of our service members are well protected while they are fighting for our freedom. It's the simple things that make a difference. And this past week, the ESGR invited a couple dozen employers locally for an educational luncheon at the Dusitani Guam Resort in Tumon. The Department of Defense agency is required to bring Guard and Reserve members, civilian managers, and supervisors to the table for the important discussion.
This is an opportunity for us to give them some education, so to speak, on that law so that they recognize what their duties and responsibilities are in dealing with service member employees.
ESGR Chair David Sablan says with service members going on military duty or deployments at a moment's notice can be rather challenging for their employers to maintain operations.
Another issue with employers, of course, is the long deployments. They're in limbo, so to speak, and they're not sure exactly what to expect. Well, we advise them that you can certainly hire somebody to take over that responsibility, but it has to be temporarily because the law requires that that job must be preserved for the return of that service member.
In fact, he says things have only gotten better in recent years.
About 7-8 years ago, we used to be handling about 50 cases a year. We act as mediators between the service member and the employer, and we have 2 weeks to resolve any issues between them.
Cases that at times would progress further to the U.S. Department of Labor, he says, they often deal with military men and women having pay issues or no longer having their civilian jobs when they return from duty. However, Sablan says thanks to the program and the constant open line of communication, they now have a better understanding of just how to maintain compliance with the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. A quick heads up for those of you who live in or around Naval Base Guam that on Monday afternoon, the military will be conducting the routine testing of their Giant Voice system. It's their vital communication and advanced warning system. Residents in surrounding areas should only hear short verbal tests of the system, including warning tones. The test is scheduled for Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we'll rehash some of the big stories of the past week and still to come, the Guam Crime Stoppers report. Keep it here.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming, KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
When we face an uncertain path, when we struggle with life's challenges, and when the unexpected happens,
it's a beautiful day.
We rely on the people we trust,
It's a beautiful,
who we can always count on.
beautiful day.
the ones who give us the most care throughout the years. Rely on Calvo's Select Care to give you the comfort and security you need wherever you are. Calvo's Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you.
Hi, I'm interested in one of your new Samsung devices.
I've got just the one for you.
We opened our online store, upgraded our website, and increased our call center to better serve customers.
Yeah! What do you think?
Solid.
If you get nervous about having dental treatment, you're not alone. An estimated 35 million adults experience anxiety or nervousness at the simple thought of visiting the dentist. As your dentist, I strive to make your visit as painless or pain-free as possible. And I frequently tell my patients that in the 21st century, if we can give you medicines to put your tooth to sleep or medicines to take an infection or toothache away, we can surely give you something to help relax you and take all fear away. No one ought to sit in a dental chair thinking of bad childhood memories or fearing injections. If you're a dental coward, but you really do want your teeth fixed, don't wait until the pain is killing you. Come in, tell us your fears, and set up an appointment. We have convinced many that dental treatment doesn't need to be scary anymore. For your helpful dental minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. You shall never know all the good a simple smile can do.
Chuck E. Cheese's Guam is not all fun and games. Our pizza is delicious with the freshest toppings, oven-baked to order. Try the fresh salad bar, sandwiches, and don't forget our mouth-watering wings. Come and eat at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Day and welcome back to Weekend Edition. This is Rehash. We recap the big stories of the past week. And just to address that there is a new person at the table, and he is our former colleague, and he's back, and he hit the ground running this week covering the Mark Torrey Jr. trial. We have Nick Delgado. So what was the latest?
Oh, great to be back, Krystal. Thanks for having me. Well, first off, we've definitely all been following this case very closely. A very high-profile case involving two police officers, unfortunately led to the death of one of their own. And in the murder trial, we've heard from several of the first responders, several of the family members, and all those that have just been involved in the investigation from the get-go. And so that's what we've heard during the first week of the trial. We've heard from Torrey's stepmother to most recently, who spoke about how she didn't even hear the gunshots, and she lives in that home right in the same property where that shooting took place. So some very interesting points as well, and emotional times from the first responders, as they not only were there trying to assess the scene and investigate, but they have a close relationship with these guys. They've worked with these guys through the years, both on and off duty. So we're definitely expecting to see a lot more. And what a lot of people are hoping to see is the testimony when Torrey actually goes up there himself to testify.
Okay. And Ken?
Well, this week I did a story regarding the Lynette Lesson Casino. They had wrote a letter to the Attorney General of Guam asking them to investigate what they believe is illegal gambling activity happening at the Titan Casino. They are basically alleging that the mayors were abusing the authority that were initially granted to them, saying that they shouldn't even be doing these games of chance at the casino facility in Barragata. I spoke with the Mayor's Council of Guam President President Paul McDonald, the mayor of Ganya Heights, and he was saying they've been in compliance with the law. They have the authorization from the governor that says they can do these games of chance at the facility, and they only make a few thousand every 2 weeks or so. But see what Lesson Casino is saying is, if you have a Fiesta Pneumatic, why are you having activities all the way in Tizen? It doesn't make sense. So they asked the Attorney General to investigate. They asked it before, so we'll see what happens.
A very interesting case, Ken. I was getting calls already from my family members saying, "Hey, Nick, I'm seeing this going on immediately after seeing your story. Is this right?" And I had to tell them exactly what you had reported. So great job on that.
Yeah, we went there and there was nothing happening.
And Esther?
Well, the governor came out with his fiscal year 2018 budget projection. Projected revenue is $885 million, which is about a 5%, a modest increase over the previous fiscal year. And he is going to set aside $125 million for the tax refunds, which has always been in the news, kind of on a weekly basis. Ken reports it. But he also wants to spend some money on hiring a new fire and police and corrections personnel. And one of his other priorities is about $11 million that he wants to spend on emergency repairs at the Guam Memorial Hospital for a leaking roof and for some faulty electrical wiring. But he came out the next day after he announced his revenue projections and kind of criticized the federal court, District Judge Frances Gatewood, saying that her rulings have kind of sided with the receiver and has allowed the receiver to set aside money that's supposed to go to GovGuam's general fund to repay the bonds. And that's $11 million that could have gone to coffers that could pay for stuff like the hospital that he wants to fix. So that's an ongoing controversy. He's actually going to ask the Attorney General to kind of step in and see if she can help get that money.
So the age is very busy. And myself, you actually kind of touched on it, Nestor, was the hiring of more corrections officers, but one officer actually went rogue. He was a veteran officer, about 11 years at the Department of Corrections. He was Ronald Pereira, and he was showing up for duty on Wednesday when he got caught with contraband, and not just a little contraband, but about $30,000 worth of crystal meth, among other items, syringes, tobacco, marijuana, a lot of other things, cell phones, chargers. And he basically had all of this hidden in shopping bags and a Pop-Tarts box. So he faces charges in the federal court now. The plan allegedly was to drop the Pop-Tarts box into a trash can near the infirmary in the prison. And he said he doesn't know who was supposed to receive it. Again, he was supposed to get paid out about $500 for dropping off the package at DOC, but now he's behind bars spending extra time at work. And if you have any news stories you want us to cover here at KUAM, you can email us at reporters@kuam.com.
Ram has won countless awards, including Four-Wheeler Pickup Truck of the Year and Heavy Duty Pickup Truck of Texas 3 years running. We have best-in-class torque and 31,210 pounds towing, along with an exceptionally smooth ride. So, what does all this award-winning engineering add up to? Ram, America's longest-lasting pickups.
Get a great deal during Ram Truck Month.
Tourism is Guam's #1 industry. It creates jobs and brings in spending. When a visitor comes to Guam, they spend their money on hotels, on transportation, on shopping, on dining out. They're happy they came to Guam. You know who else is happy? The hotel they stayed in and the bellman at the hotel. The tour bus drivers and tour guides. The stores they shopped at and the banks they used. The restaurant and the waitress, the supplier who delivered the ingredients, and the farmer who supplied the produce. From real estate to retail, tourism has a positive impact on every industry. When tourists pay taxes, it means locals pay less. Let's make sure our local economy grows so it becomes strong and healthy. Make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Support tourism.
The Down Syndrome Association of Guam exists to support families of individuals with Down syndrome. We're a group of parents who have children with Down syndrome and know the joys and challenges of raising them. For more information about the health, development, and education of a child or adult with Down syndrome, please contact Vicky Areola at 472-6114.
From the moment you see it, it commands your respect. You can feel its immense power. The only way to master it is to venture inside. Go ahead, dive in. The GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC and get over $10,000 total value on select specially equipped brand new 2017 Sierra Crew Cab SLT vehicles in stock.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We continue our ongoing discussion with Officer Paul Tapao, my good friend from the Guam Police Department. Officer Tapao, we are talking about parental involvement, and you were leading this off by last week saying, parents need to get more involved in the lives of their kids, obviously to keep them off drinking, make smart choices, eat well, be involved in their school. So I'd like to talk about that. Like, how can parents get more involved with their kids when they're at school? Because these are really busy times. People work a lot, school hours are really, really weird, but how can parents be more involved when their kids go off the campus?
It's simple, just talk to your kids, find out who they're with, where they're at, after school and everything, but primarily get in touch with the school. Now, being that I'm involved with the schools, with the School Crime Stoppers program, I talk a lot with the schools and the different activities that they have. And one some of the concerns they have is getting a hold of their parents. We need to break that trend, and we need to have the parents understand that the school needs you to be involved with them too. And by you actually partaking in your child's education, you're not just helping your child stay out of trouble, you're also helping your child gain that education and gain that progression in which they need for the next level. And the school really depends on the parental involvement, not just the mom, but also the dad, because we're seeing a lot of issues that evolve where child gets in trouble and it's criminal, mom is always in attendance. And we want to ask the father, it's really, if we have dual parents there doing sessions with the principals or sessions with the officers, it helps the child understand that, what they're doing is wrong. And it's the parents' way of actually doing corrective measures on the child.
Now, you do so many of these presentations throughout the year, and you, of course, talk directly to schools. How can parents find out what's being taught there? Because obviously you can't have every parent go to the school at the same time in the middle of a day, but I'm sure there's a lot of parents who would like to avail of the knowledge you're passing down and the tips you're giving these kids. How can they find that out? Absolutely.
Ask your kids what we talked about and everything. Talk to the counselors, because it's majority of the time it's the counselors or the safety officers within the schools in which I work directly with, and I share the same curriculum with them because we're following their behavior expectation. The Department of Education's behavior expectations of the be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. I integrated that in the School Crime Stoppers curriculum, and everything in which I'm teaching them reflects on their behavior expectations. So, talk to your child, talk to your school administrators, find out what you can do to help your child progress to the next level. Regardless if your child is, actively involved with the school, or if they're in trouble with the school, it always helps to have parents there, and we need their involvement with the school and everything.
I really like how you brought up the fact about counselors, because counselors we've seen are probably the most underutilized resource by students, but a lot of people don't realize they're also a proxy for parents to interact with the school too.
Yeah, absolutely. They have, the expert training and upbringing of kids, expert trainings and expectation levels of the kids as they progress from elementary on to middle school. And you're right, the counselors are there because they should be the first line in which the child and the parents go through if they have any inquiries about the schools or they have any inquiries about the child's behavior. So it's really important that, and again, I'm stressing this, parents get involved with the school, get involved with the administrator, go through the process, orientation, first and second quarter progress reports, go to conference days and everything, and go to activities, be involved, ask your child about what activities are coming up. And of course, know when your child is home, because when kids are accounted for, that's when we can say they're okay. But when kids are unaccounted for, we have cases where kids have been suspended and the parents don't even know that they're suspended, and they're under the impression that they're still going to school. And it's really important because now it becomes a safety issue, and we don't want the schools to carry that burden, and that it should be the parents to do the corrective measuring, corrective discipline on the child. So, again, please, and I ask the parents out there, emphasize that stress and that need to be involved in their school.
All right, very well. What do you got for crime of the week?
This week is a robbery that happened at the old Dedado flea market.
All right, here's the information.
On Wednesday, the 24th of January, at around 4 in the afternoon, officers from the Dededo Precinct Command responded to the old Dededo Flea Market located in Quezon Sundo in reference to a robbery. Now, according to the police report, the victim, who was the owner of a small fruits and vegetable stand located in Quezon Sundo, was working within her stand when she was approached by an unknown male from behind. The unknown male then pushed the victim from behind, causing her to fall, in which the male suspect then grabbed the victim's spurs while she was down. The male suspect was then seen running towards Sundo Court in Dededo. The victim described the suspect to be a tall and skinny male Chuukese with dark complexion and had long black hair, which was tied in a ponytail. The suspect was last seen wearing a red shirt with red shorts. The victim concluded that she believes the suspect to be homeless, as she has seen him wandering around the area before asking for money and food. If anyone has any information about this case, please call the Dededo Precinct Command at 632-9808 or the Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. If you have any information about this crime or any other crime, please call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. That's 477-4357. You can also send a text to 486-HELP. That's 486-4357. You can also submit information of a crime through our webpage at guam.crimestoppersweb.com or call the Guam Police Department at 475-8615, 6 or 7. Guam Crime Stoppers wants to remind the public that we do not use caller ID and you do not have to leave your name. You can receive a cash reward of up to $1,000 if the information provided leads to the arrest and conviction for the person or persons responsible for this crime or any other crime.
All right, thanks so much. We appreciate it as always. People should know the number. They should have it committed to memory. But if people need any help from the Guam Police Department in any capacity, how do they call?
You can easily call 911, but reach out to the nearest precinct. Each precinct has their own respective phone number. You can call them, or you can call the Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. That's 4357.
All right. GPD always ready to help and always ready to lend a hand.
Absolutely. Thanks again for having us.
Thanks so much. Stay tuned. We're back after this.
These used cars are Nissan certified. And let me show you why I stand behind every used car that we sell. First, our certified technicians inspect every used car to make sure it's safe, reliable, and mechanically sound. Then any scratches and dings are given first-class treatment at our body shop. And after thorough detailing inside and out, the car is ready for sale. At a price that's always below Blue Book. That makes Nissan used cars your best buy.
Get ready to take flight at the 2017 United Airlines Guam Marathon, April 9th. Register now for the 5K, 10K, half, and full marathon. 4 races in one great event. Run in paradise with thousands of local and international runners. Enjoy new features such as the Holiday Expo, the Barbecue Beach Party, and the upcoming Runners Perk program, Eat, Shop, Run. Learn more. Visit our Facebook or Instagram and register now at UnitedGuamMarathon.com.
Ram has won countless awards, including 4-Wheeler Pickup Truck of the Year and Heavy Duty Pickup Truck of Texas 3 years running. We have best-in-class torque and 31,210 pounds towing, along with an exceptionally smooth ride.
Throwing shadows in the dark.
So, what does all this award-winning engineering add up to? Ram, America's longest-lasting pickups.
Get a great deal during Ram Truck Month.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
This Valentine's, fall in love with the incredible deals going on now at Triple J. It's Triple J's Love to Save sales event. Sweet deals on all makes and models, like the Ford F-150 at only $189 per paycheck, or the Mazda 6 at only $122 per paycheck, and the Kia Forte at only $80 per paycheck. Plus, with every new vehicle purchase, receive a free gift. It's Triple J's Love to Save sales event going on now. Stop by today or visit us online at triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Trade-ins welcome. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J, customers first.
And before we close out the news tonight, here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Celebrating this weekend, happy birthday to you, Ricky George Iglesias Jr. Happy birthday, Dad and Grandpa. Love your family. Happy second birthday to Ellery Agolto. Also celebrating this weekend, happy birthday to you, Bertha M. Cruz. And John Agankinata, love your family. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Donovan James Fama, currently in Nevada. Fama, we miss him and love him always. Love from Team Fama and O'Brien. Happy birthday, wishing our number 3 beautiful princess, Alea Jade Alcantara, a happy 9th birthday. Blessings. Love Grandpa and Grandma Mendoza and the rest of your family. Celebrating this weekend and turning 9. Happy birthday, Nevea Kinata. Remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Make sure to include your photo and your name and your birth date so we can celebrate you. And that's all the time we have from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.